So we are going to have an interesting, week coming up. In addition to the Lakers, or rather talking about the Lakers, Luka just made his debut as a Laker. So we got to talk about that. And Kyrie Irving and Trae Young have been named the All-Star replacements for Giannis and AD. So let's get into all of that. So first let's talk about the Hornets disputing the Lakers voiding the trade for Mark Williams. Now we saw originally that they made the trade. Lakers were getting Mark Williams and the Hornets were getting 2 first-round picks, I believe, from the Lakers and Dalton Knecht and Cam Reddish. And so that was the original trade. And so then when the Lakers gave Mark Williams a physical, they said that they found things that they were concerned about and they didn't think he was going to be healthy, this, that, and the third, whatever it was. And so they voided the trade. And now the Hornets are talking to the NBA, I guess, about how they can go about disputing this. And I don't know if you can make a trade go through once it's voided. I don't think you can. Maybe there's a way. Because this trade was obviously done before the deadline. Obviously you can't make a trade now, right? You can't just all of a sudden make a trade. I'm not sure if they can reinstate this as a trade. I don't know if that's actually a possibility. But because I'm assuming if that's not a possibility, if the Hornets know and the Lakers know that they can't make this trade go through no matter what, then I'm going to assume that the Hornets are, again, my speculation, just my opinion based on what I read, that the Hornets are doing this to, one, make sure that they don't look bad because, it looks as if, if the Lakers say, oh, they found things that the Hornets didn't tell us. Again, I'm just making up in my head what they're saying. Then the Hornets will be like, wait a minute, we told you everything. That's not true, right? So we don't know exactly what happened, but that seems to be where this is headed if the trade can't actually go through in the end. Because obviously the Hornets, they want 2 first-round picks. So if the NBA somehow established that the Lakers acted in bad faith, again, I don't know if that's exactly the case or whatever, I do think that the NBA could take away one of their picks or something like that. I don't know if they can give the pick to the Hornets. I don't know exactly what they can do because we've seen players or teams rather get their picks taken away from them for tampering and stuff like that. So I don't know exactly what kind of outcome could exactly come from this, but we'll definitely have to watch and see because the Hornets are not taking this lightly. They're taking it seriously. They want to get a good result. And I think Mark Williams is up for a contract extension at the end of the year. And so if nothing else, if they just left it as it is, and basically it would kind of tank Mark Williams' value, which not only would be bad for the Hornets if they wanted to trade him in the future, because then his value would be so much lower based on what the Lakers said, but also it would kind of hinder Mark Williams' ability to get a contract of a size that he wants, right? It could actually have consequences for the Hornets and for Mark Williams. So again, I don't know exactly what the issue is going to be, but there is a lot of, pieces moving here, and we'll see what happens in the end. So, but back to the Lakers, speaking of the Lakers rather, Luka Doncic just debuted as a Laker. The first half just ended. Luka obviously hasn't played since Christmas, so he's not obviously, well, okay, we see KD come back from injury and he'll drop 40, 50 points, right? Okay, 50's pushing it. He'll drop 30 points. But I didn't exactly expect Luka to come back and just drop 30-point triple-double, right? I wasn't expecting that. He obviously, I think it was on the second play of the game or the third play of the game, he threw up a lob to Jackson Hayes. And then a little bit later in the first quarter, he got his first bucket. And obviously, the arena was cheering for him like crazy and stuff like that. So Luka is now a Laker. And the Lakers, I believe, are up by 20 points at halftime, maybe give or take. So they are definitely playing very well. Now, they are playing the Jazz, who are not the best team in the NBA. But at the same time, Luka looks decent. He looks like himself, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to take time to get used to it. There was one play towards the end of the second quarter, I believe, when Luka threw a full court pass to LeBron, who got a layup. So that would be very scary for the NBA to have that happening every game. Luka throwing full court passes to LeBron, like, that's crazy. So we'll see how it works out, in the end, like how they fit together and stuff like that. We know that there's going to be a, transition process because obviously, Luka is a ball dominant player, and LeBron, although he can play off the ball a bit, he is still a ball dominant player himself, and rightfully so, because again, they both have success doing that, and that is the way that they play best. But there is only one basketball, as we discuss all the time. Everybody cannot have the ball, and somebody is going to have to defer. Someone's going to have to play off the ball more. I'm going to assume that LeBron will likely be the one to play off the ball more, just because, one, he's done it more than Luka, and at this point in his career, of course, like, Luka's 25, he's 40, and so, like, the same way that we heard the reports that LeBron was trying to give the torch to AD, if you want to say, I feel like he will try to do that with Luka, and so that will make him, defer more than, I guess, Luka. But, like, at first, they're both going to be figuring it out, so there's going to be a transition process. But, again, they're up 20, so they're clearly doing very well. So, with that being said, we'll have to see how the rest of the season plays out, but the Lakers right now are in 4th place, I believe. They're in the 4th seed. So, I don't know how much further they can move up, but they look good right now for this game. And then the last thing I want to talk about was Kyrie Irving and Trae Young being named All-Star replacements. So in the Eastern Conference, Giannis is hurt, and so Adam Silver named Trae Young the All-Star replacement. I felt like this was kind of obvious. I said yesterday on my live stream, I believe, I said I think it'll be Trae Young. I think that's who deserves it. Not that LaMelo doesn't deserve it, but LaMelo actually just got hurt again, which is very sad. But even besides that, like, I think Trae Young deserves it, and I thought Trae Young should have had an all-star spot to begin with. So I don't think it's any, like, breaking news there. And then in the West, there is a little bit of controversy. Funny enough, when I was making my all-star predictions, when I made the video on, like, who I think is going to be an all-star, I was giving my predictions based on who I think deserves it, but also factoring in who I thought the coaches would pick as a reserve. Like, it wasn't just, like, I was giving my opinion based on who I thought deserved it, but not all that. Like, I was trying to factor in how coaches think. Because if I was just giving my opinion based on who I think, I thought should make it, I would have put some other players on the list. Right? So with that in mind, in that video, I said, I think Kyrie Irving will be selected as an all-star. I thought the coaches would pick him, and they didn't. So I was actually a little bit surprised by that. So Adam Silver actually picked Kyrie Irving as the all-star replacement. Now, the controversy, if you will, is that when I made the live stream yesterday, I thought the top 2 candidates to replace AD would be Sabonis and Norman Powell. And a lot of people were very upset today when Sabonis was not named an all-star. Because obviously we see what type of season he's having. Like, he's putting up great numbers, having a great season. And I've seen some people say that they think that Kyrie got it just because of, the disaster, basically, that's happening with the Mavs right now. And it's kind of like, I don't even know what word to describe it. Basically, like, because of that, that's why he got selected, which I don't think is fair. Because Kyrie was having an all-star caliber season. And I literally thought he would have gotten selected, like, before Adam Silver had to pick a replacement. So I don't think that's fair to say about Kyrie. I think he actually does deserve, or did deserve, an all-star spot, rather. But I can understand why people wanted or think that Sabonis should have gotten an all-star spot, because, again, he is having an all-star caliber season. So, like, I can understand that. I just don't agree with the sentiment that Kyrie just got it because of what's happening with the Mavs. Because again, I thought he was going to be selected even before this happened. So I don't think we should say that about Kyrie. He has played like an all-star. He definitely deserved a spot. But again, I can understand why people think Sabonis was snubbed and he should have gotten an all-star spot. So with that in mind, the All-Star weekend is this weekend. Super exciting. We'll see what happens, the new format. We'll see if it promotes more competitive games and stuff like that, because obviously the NBA has not been happy with how the All-Star game has gone in recent seasons. The lack of competitiveness and stuff like that. They are trying something new this year. So we'll see if the new format produces more competition and better results. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this live stream and see you soon. Bye!